Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Talk podcast. I'm sure this is not new to many of you because this tragedy, unfortunate, unnecessary, disgusting death from an innocent man whose name is Charlie Kirk has been going around the internet since the incident happened, the moment it happened, a day after, now 2 days after, and many days to come, we will still be talking about this. People will still be talking about this because it is important to address situations like this. And when I when I heard of this, it was exactly, I think it was the day of the shooting at night, preparing for bed, just, finish praying. And for whatever reason, I was like, let me just go on the internet and see, is there anything happening. I couldn't sleep for whatever reason, and then I learned what we all learned about this unfortunate situation. And I want to say, I do not know this man in person. I do not know his family. I do not know his children. I do not know his wife. I do not know anything about his private life, but yet it is heartbreaking. I went back on my knees and I asked God to please protect his family, guide them, give them strength. I'm really praying for especially his young children, two young girls who lost their father for no reason. We all know how difficult it is for adults to digest such situation. Now think about it, how hard it's going to be for children to try to understand what happened to their dad. Why? I really pray that his wife is going to stay strong. I pray that they find a healthy way to move on in life and future. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be nice. And I'm sure there's never going to be any sense of, forgetting the situation. But I truly pray for his family, for his family members, for all his loved ones, that they find peace. And I also pray that justice is served. You see, I am not someone who is, you know, well educated when it comes to politics. To be honest, I actually remove myself from digging too deep into politics. I have a very different stand on this. Yes, it has its importance, but I think nowadays people are a bit too caught up with politics and not realizing that all these groups, parties, agendas, they are not for the people. The moment we finally realize that politics has its own agenda, which is to benefit those who are in it, they are doing whatever they're doing for their own purposes. And we are just puppets, trusting and believing whatever they say. We have become a society, and this is for anywhere you live. This is not just America. Unfortunately, America is very much extreme with this. But people have become so divided. They don't see each other as human. They don't see each other as brothers and sisters anymore. They see each other as enemies because one is voting for party A and the other one for party B. People are losing their minds. People are going nuts, crazy, violent, because you choose to support whatever party will do it. Why do you need to have so much hate towards someone? For what reason? I'm telling you, this is so hard to digest. I wish I had the right words for this, but there's nothing else to say but this is disgusting, this is painful, this is wrong. I think people are still trying to find out. The biggest question, obviously, is the why. I think someone has already been caught. I'm not sure who that person is, what agenda they're following, what kind of group they think they belong to, what motivated them to do that. I don't know. But I'm really hoping that we will find out. Now, Mr. Kirk, the only thing he does without harming anyone, without threatening anyone, without exercising violence on anyone, this is a family man who sits in public settings and invites everyone to join in the conversation. You do not have to agree with his opinion. You do not have to love it, nor do you need to like it. It's a choice. This man takes his time to sit in public and talk and debate to all kinds of people. He's sharing his opinion. And listen, other people can come up and debate his opinion, disagree, add their own context, and move on. If you don't like it, you can leave. If you disagree, you can speak on it. But it seems like we have many people who do not understand the true meaning of freedom of speech. It seems like there are many, many people who want to dictate what other people are allowed to say. And now, if you are aware of what is happening in America, you might have to ask yourself politically, you might have to ask yourself politically, for the majority of people who have been voting and the choice that have been made in terms of the president we have again, his choices, his agendas, his idea of freedom of speech. When I tell you the world is changing drastically in front of all our eyes and we don't see it, we choose not to see it. Let me tell you, there are many things that Charlie Kirk would say, and I do not agree, and it's perfectly fine. The same way there are many things he will say that I'll think to myself, makes sense. I can comment on it, I can just take it for what it is and go about my own business. But there are many, many people out there who lack intelligence. And let me tell you, these are the most dangerous people. There are too many stupid people out there who would not put the effort to speak, but come up with violence, threat, and hate. How much hate can a human have towards someone else that you don't even know in person? And even if you do know that person closely, how much hate can you have to take someone's life because of speech? And now think about the setting, think about the situation, how devastating that is. Broad daylight, a campus where young people are standing around, teenagers, children, families, moms, dads, innocent people who just gathered to have a nice day and debate and listen and learn and add on to the conversation. And someone decides to shoot right through the public, didn't care who's standing there, didn't care if children are standing there, didn't care if his children were standing there and his wife, and took this man's life in broad daylight. When I tell you guys that the devil is real and he's among us all the time, people won't believe it. How traumatizing is this for a young child, two young children, standing there smiling, looking up to their dad, thinking, yes, daddy's going to do a good job like always. Daddy's going to inspire people. And then, over. You see, there were so many clips going around. Obviously, TikTok is going to take them down, YouTube is going to take them down. There was a footage, if anyone finds them, please tag me on it. There was a footage where you could see very clearly how the bullet came straight and hit his neck. And blood just came out. That was a fatal shot. Like, that is nothing you could have done at that point. They hit the artery, die Hauptschlagader, and took his life immediately in front of everyone. This person who did that, cowardly as they are, hiding somewhere up in a building. You cannot even stand in front of that person, right? You need to hide. Because not only are you evil, you are a coward. How much hate can a human being have? Do we all now need to be scared to be outspoken? Let me tell you, I don't know these people, okay? But yesterday, someone came up to my mind and I was thinking, I'm like, Candace Owens, please take care of yourself. Watch your back. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but my mind yesterday just went like, if this happened, I don't think this is going to be the first and the last. There are people out there, disgusting, dangerous, who do not want others to share their opinion, to have a voice, to be critical. There are people out there who don't want you to ask questions. They just want you to be zombies and follow all nonsense. They don't want you to speak the truth. They don't want you to speak about God. They don't want you to speak about family. And I know many of you are going to say, did you know what Kirk was actually talking about? Did you know the message he was trying to share? What an irony. I know. I know that this man stands for gun right. He is one of these American men who wants all Americans to own a gun, which I think America has a big issue. America, I'm so sorry to say, is the shithole of this planet. And even it's the shithole of this planet, I wonder how do they manage to control the whole world? Be honest, we all know this. America controls the world, yet being the shithole of the world. America needs to do some harsh changes when it comes to their political views, when it comes to their laws, especially when it has to do with gun laws, when it comes to the idea of race and racism. America needs to wake up. America needs to wake up. How many more years do they want to keep going on like this? Now, listen, where I am coming from is just because this man is saying, yes, I want everyone to own a gun, does that give someone else the right to take his life for no reason? Definitely not. As I said, I don't have to agree with all he says, but what I can stand for is to protect human life. No one deserves this. And yes, it's an irony. Yes, there's some hypocrisy into it. Call it as you like. But I hope that this situation is going to shake up the people and they start asking the real meaningful questions. I hope this situation is going to shake up the people and start making them overthink, rethink their ideas of this gun laws that they're pushing. Everyone needs to own a gun. Children need to own a gun. Everyone, the First Amendment this, First Amendment that, until it hits the wrong person, until it hits an innocent bystander, until it hits one of your family members. Then we're gonna start caring, right? But until then, because that's how life works, everyone is fine with everything until it affects them, right? I hope that change is going to come. Another thing that has been shared all over the place, especially on TikTok, but suddenly, not even full 2 days after, suddenly all these clips are vanished. It's hard to find, right? There was a man in a white shirt standing close next to Kirk, and there was another man standing behind him in a black t-shirt. If you know, you know, please comment. Tell me what you think about the man standing behind him in the black t-shirt. People are saying this was planned. Of course this was planned. No one is just going to by chance be on top of the roof. Oh, I just found myself up there on the roof, and oh, by chance I just have this weapon with me, right? And oh, by mistake it just went off. No, 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 this was definitely planned. And I believe it's not only planned by one person who's the shooter, but I think there must be at least some other person involved. Okay? And I think it is too simple to blame the security for not taking account for those roofs. Come on now, who would have thought? This is something they've been doing over and over, week to week, back to back, sitting in public, speaking to the audience. And yes, there's something to learn. If you do have a security team, please take account of everything. I think it is too easy to just blame this on the security for not standing up there. But for the future, I'm sure this is going to be put into account. The man standing behind Kirk in a black t shirt, people were saying it looked like that man was giving a signal, giving a sign, some body movement, some weird odd movement with his arm, hands that he made, and immediately the shot went off. I'd like to know what people think about this. This is devastating because we already know how America works. It's a blame game. It's to create more divide and share and spread more hate. But you know what? At the end, it's not a black person. It's not how they like to call it, a foreigner, knowing that everyone who's American is a foreigner, but that's a different topic for another day. It's your own people. I said it. It's your own people. Disgusting. Painful. I hope America takes this situation and learns something out of it. But I unfortunately believe that, given that the way things have been going, and with the president that is in power again, this situation is going to be used to create even more divide. This situation is going to be used politically to pursue their own agendas, their own interest. They don't do things for the people. Someone just passed for no reason. Not passed, died, killed. Killed. That is murdered. Okay? That is the real deal. Someone got murdered for no reason in public, broad daylight. A father, a son, a husband, a leader. Why? And now I hope, as I said, that they find that person. There's already someone who's been, in the news with something holding on to their hand, very suspicious, coming down from that roof. Pictures has been taken. I'm sure that person is already, in custody, being questioned by the police and all that good stuff. But think about it. How stupid do you have to be? Oh, you disagree with someone's opinion? Well, argue your own opinion. You don't like what they say? Well, move on. But now your ass is going to jail. And I hope forever. Forever and ever, that person should sit in prison. No freedom for you. Now you hate someone's opinion. You want to dictate what they're allowed to say. If you end up in jail, which I pray for you to be the outcome, ask yourself, how much of an opinion are you going to have in there? Right? How much of an opinion are you going to have in prison? Because you want to take someone else's right for speech away? Well, we'll find out how nice it is in prison. How much you can speak up, right? Let's see how bold you are when you're in there. You're going to learn new things. You're going to find out that freedom of speech does not exist everywhere, especially not when you're locked up. You're going to learn that your butthole is going to have new experiences. You're going to learn that there are people who are far dangerous than you are because you think you're tough because you're holding a gun, right? I pray that this person get caught, placed in prison forever, and with the people that match his energy. Let them teach you a lesson, right? I pray that his family are going to find a healthy way to move on. Really. And before I finish and close up, I will repeat what I said because I mean this and I wish that people follow this path, right? You don't have to agree with everyone. You don't have to love their opinion. You don't have to listen. You can move on. You can debate. You can share your own opinion. You don't have to like what someone says, but that does not give you any right to take away their life. Who are you? What do you think? What do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Look, there are things that Charlie Kirk has put out there, and I will not agree. And it's perfectly fine. Because I disagree, do I not want his life taken away? No. The same way there are many things that I might agree, and I move on. Trump is someone that I highly disagree with. You will find maybe a handful of points that I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that. But because of the majority of things that this man is sharing and I disagree, do I now have the right to take his life? No. If there should be justice towards Trump, for example, it's prison time. The judicial system is going to do its work, hopefully. That's a different topic. But you get the gist. You get the gist that no one of us, not me, not you, not your brother, your neighbor, not Eddie King, not no one has the right to take away someone's life because you disagree with their opinion. That is disgusting. You guys all remember when Trump was attacked by a gun as well? It was just very close for him to lose his life. I could not agree with that. I disagree with his points. I do not agree with many of his political views. But yet I will not sit here and say, therefore, someone is allowed to shoot him. That is stupid. That is wrong, because I wouldn't want anyone to do that to me. People need to start thinking, and people need to find God in their life and ask him to take away whatever amount of hate, whatever is lingering in you that is creating hate. Ask God for forgiveness. This is not right.